and keep it right under an hour, just so we can use all the time that Facebook Live gives us. So cross-legged seated position around the top of your mat. Right, and take a nice 15-20 seconds to move around in whichever way you need to, right? Maybe you kind of shake out the arms dramatically, right? You can flap them, crossing bicep over bicep. Maybe rolling around in the neck a few times, sticking out the tongue, bulging the eyes, making a crazy face. Right, and then slowly allow the body to naturally settle. Right, allowing your awareness to travel to the tip of your tailbone. Right, and then slowly beginning to create space in between each individual disc of your spine. Allow the chin to move under the crown of the head. And then rock the head gently side to side as you feel the neck grow out of the shoulders. Let go of any rigidity in the spine by drawing the shoulder blades up towards the ears and then relaxing the shoulders back down away from those ears. Hands rest wherever they may. And then come to your lips being gently closed and your breath just moving in and out of your body with your nose. Taking a moment of pause here and then allowing your awareness to shift to whatever it is that you're bringing to the mat. Turning towards whatever experience is going on your Sunday or whatever day you practice. And then from that acknowledgement of what is, just start to investigate the sensations of your body, checking in with your sight, right? Maybe gazing in the back of your eyelids, tasting your mouth, the sounds that are coming towards you, smell, feeling of your clothes on your skin, the mat under your bum. Just kind of checking into all five senses. And then from that grounding, we'll shift our attention more towards the breath and start to find the rhythm that's going to guide the next hour we have together. Feeling the full expansion of your torso as you draw air in through your nose, filling up your entire lungs, belly, back of shoulders, and hips. And then on the exhale, you're feeling that shrinking back down, pulling the belly button back towards the spine. Taking a solid 5 rounds of breath here, just to observe the rise and fall of the body, and to pay attention to what it's like to breathe completely, paying attention to the sensation of. Maybe with the final few breaths, bringing a smile to the face, honoring the fact that you've showed up to your practice and committed to some actionable self-care. Right? Very cool thing. All right, so from that place, we'll all take a big breath in. And then a loud, dramatic breath out of the mouth. Eyes slowly begin to blink open, and then we'll find tabletop pose. So finding tabletop pose somewhere around the center of your mat, allowing the hands to fan out, driving the hands under the shoulders, placing the knees directly under the hips. Very nice. And then from there, inhale that right leg straight back behind you, left arm straight out in front of you. Make sure you're hugging that right inner thigh in and that left forearm in. Right, so from that center line connection, inhale as you press that thumb and heel higher. And then exhale, elbow and knee together under the body. Inhale, reach it out, expand. And then exhale, draw it in and contract. That's 2. We've got 5 total. All right, inhale is where you reach out. Exhale is where you pull back in. 2 more here, making sure you're still pressing that right hand firmly down into the earth. Finishing up that last round, re-extending back into tabletop pose, maybe wagging the tail a little bit side to side. All right, and then we'll come into the opposite side as you reach that right arm straight in front of you, left leg straight back, thumb and heel high. And then exhale, elbow and knee together under you. Very nice. Inhale, reach out and expand. Exhale, draw it in and contract. That's 2 more. Same thing here. 5 total. All right, moving at the speed of your breath. Still focusing on breathing fully into not only the lungs, belly, but the backs of the shoulders and the hips. Finishing up that last 1 or 2 rounds. All right, re-extending back to where you came from, back into tabletop pose. Right, from there, maybe a little wiggle side to side with the hips. And then we'll take some cats and cows. So on your exhale, press into your first cat pose. gazing in and up towards your belly button. And then inhale, drop it into cow as you look up towards your eyebrows. Exhale, press, arch, and round it into cat. Exhale, or inhale, draw it into cow. Exhale, press into cat. And then take about 5 rounds of these cats and cows. Inhaling fully and completely as you open the pelvis. Exhaling as you close that gate of the pelvis by tucking the tailbone down towards the mat. A few more here. Feeling the spine start to warm up. Maybe feeling a little bit of that energy press into the palms. Very nice. Next time you find cat pose, hold your cat pose. And then as you're pressing actively down into the earth, tuck your toes under and find that first downward facing dog. All right, so downward facing dog, first one. Bending knees side to side, kind of feeling out that first down dog. No wrong way to approach it, right? Just kind of feeling out the body here. If you want to shake out a leg or make some big circles with the knee, all right, whatever you need. All right, make sure you're paying special attention to letting go of tension in the forehead here, relaxing the muscles behind the eyes. Right, and then from here, allow the big toes to come together. Right, inhale high onto the balls of the feet and drop your heels towards the right. Try and get your left armpit as close as you can to the mat. And think about dragging that left palm towards the back of the mat as well. Opening up that left side body. Awesome. Bring those heels back towards center. Drop them now towards the left. Press that right armpit down. Dragging that right palm back in space. Big open line of energy from the right pinky finger to the right hip. And then bring those heels back towards center. Come high onto the balls of the feet. And then slowly tiptoe it up until you find that first ragdoll pose. All right, so feet are hips width distance apart. All right, most of you know the deal. You can grab behind your knees here. You can even interlace behind your back if you want to come into the shoulders early today. Right, or I'm just going to grab opposite elbow and sway side to side. All right, we're taking a moment here just to take this ragdoll one breath at a time. All right, to allow that attention to shift towards whatever the emotional tone is in your body on your mat right now. All right, from that awareness of your emotional tone and what you're bringing to the mat, asking yourself what you need for this practice, what you need for this Sunday today. And then doing nothing with that awareness, just allowing yourself to acknowledge the need and to just hang out in this kind of jello-y, melty pose. Right, allowing that need to stay in your mind. Take a big breath in. And then let some tension go. Lower your hands down to the mat. Gently toe heel the feet together. And then slowly rise up, keeping that need right in the back of your head. All right, drawing your shoulder blades back. Inhale, reach up, find Tadasana pose. Relaxing the shoulders from the ears, tucking the pelvis forward. Lifting up all 10 toes and re-stretching them onto the earth. Right? Externally rotating the arms, dialing the pinky fingers in towards one another. Take a moment as you inhale and look up in between your palms to bring that gentle smile to the face. And then lower your hands down to heart center. All right, now bringing your awareness back to that need that you identified in Ragdoll. And building an intention on top of that need. All right, taking responsibility to meet that need and using breath, movement, sweat, heat, a little bit of struggle, and a whole lot of yoga to scratch that itch, to meet that need. All right, so from that specific intention, take a big breath in, and then a full breath out. Reverse swan dive it up, land in Tadasana pose, and then swan dive it forward, first forward fold. Halfway lift, long flat back, and then exhale, forward fold. From there, Utkatasana, early chair pose. Fingertips scrape the mat, hug the inner thighs in, tuck the pelvis down. Right, so think about cat pose here in your spine. Really tucking forward, right, making sure that you're engaging that Uddiyana Bandha, right, to really allow that core to strengthen throughout your practice. Softening your face as you gaze towards the front edge of your mat, sinking a little bit lower. And then from here, interlace your hands behind your low back, straighten out your legs, and allow the arms to come up and over, opening up the shoulders a little earlier than normal for our practice today. All right, not locking out the knees, not gripping the mat with the toes, playing with a little bit of balance here. Very nice. From there, back to Utkatasana. Knees bend first, fingertips re-scrape the earth. Very nice. And then exhale, forward fold. From that forward fold, step back into a high plank pose. All right, taking a moment here in high plank to really use your quadriceps to lift the knees up towards the ceiling. Right, pressing all 10 fingertips firmly into the earth. And then left hand under the face, Vashisthasana. First side plank as you reach your right arm to the sky. Taking an extended version here as we reach that top arm up and over the right bicep, or the right ear. Right, pressing firmly down into that left hand. Really strengthening that left oblique. And then inhale, reach that right arm back to the sky. Exhale, back into your high plank pose. And then hold your high plank, not the breath, but hold your high plank. All right, re-soften the face, unclench the jaw. All right, pay attention to the breath as we transition into side plank on the opposite side. Right hand down, left arm reaches. All right, now extend that version of side plank by reaching that top arm up and over. All right, still create space between the shoulder and the earlobe. Take one more big breath in, and then reach back up high to the sky, back into high plank pose. Very nice. From high plank pose, exhale, lower down, first chaturanga. Right? Notice that your shoulders and elbows are in line with one another. Shoulders are not lower than elbows. And then upward facing dog on your inhale. Right? Take 3 breaths here in this first up dog to draw the shoulder blades back, to press all 10 fingertips firmly into the earth, to unclench the butt cheeks there. Right? Take a big breath in, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Tops of the feet, start that movement. From downward facing dog, inhale high onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, step or float. Find a halfway lift at the top of your mat. And then exhale, forward fold. Slowly rise up, land in mountain pose. Now some more classic flowy sunnaes. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. And then exhale, hands lower down, step back, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Skipping your vinyasas today by stepping back to down dog when I call them out, adding on to them if you'd like as well. From down dog, inhale high, knees bend, step or float, halfway lift, top of the mat. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, starting to find that choreography. Halfway lift, linking breath with movement. Hands down, step back. All right, inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Lighten the wrists, forearms pressed towards the front edge of the mat. Inhale high, knees bend, step or float, halfway lift, top of the mat. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. 2 more complete sunnaes. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And then hands lower down, stepping or floating through. Adding on maybe with chaturangas or handstands, maybe chin stands. From down dog, inhale high, knees bend, step or float, halfway lift, top of the mat, no need to rush. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive, arms reach out wide. Swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands lower down, stepping or floating through that vinyasa, making sure that the elbows graze the ribs in your chaturanga, and that you're finishing your downward facing dog by lifting the toes towards the shins. Very nice. From here, inhale high, knees bend, step or float, halfway lift, and then exhale, fold. Back to Utkatasana, fingertips scrape the mat. Very nice. Holding it here. All right, feeling some of those more classic sunnaes settle in the body. All right, kind of receiving some of the sensation of this chair pose. Hugging the inner thighs in, sinking a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, and then Navasana. Once the bum touches, right, the legs extend. You can bend the knees and grab behind the hamstrings, right, but make sure the shoulders are pinching together behind you, right? You're pulling the heart through the arms, holding your high boat pose, and then lowering down into low boat pose. Pressing your low back into the earth, pressing your forehead towards the ceiling, Swim kick the legs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. High boat pose, up high. Right, maybe hug behind your knees, right? Draw the shoulder blades back and then recommit to that full Navasana. Lower down, Ardha Navasana, low boat pose. And then we'll crisscross the heels for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep reaching those fingertips forward. 4, 3, 2, 1. High boat pose, rise it up, right? So I'm a hug behind the knees. Right, taking a break, right? Or kind of taking it easy, less of a break. Right, and then re-extend into your high boat pose. Lower down, low boat pose, and then we'll heel click here for 10, 9, slow, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Start to butterfly your knees in and out. Right, maybe letting go of some dramatic moans and groans. Very nice. And then rocking and rolling from the shoulders to the heels. Gaining enough momentum. Right, or using your hands to arrive in chair pose. All right, spinning one big inhale in chair pose. And then exhale, forward fold. Like a zombie, slowly roll yourself up with heavy arms. Drawing your shoulder blades back. Reverse swan dive it up into Tadasana. Right? From there, back to Utkatasana. And then exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. And then hands lower down. Find that vinyasa. Moving through that intuitive flow that gets you to down dog. From there, inhale, right leg to the sky. And then exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, heel to the sky. Right knee, left elbow. Falling triangle. Extend, push, and lift. Right, so a similar expression to side plank where we kind of just were, except we're reaching that left arm high towards the ceiling, pushing the heart towards the left, and driving all 5 fingertips into the earth. Right, big, massive breath here in falling triangle, and then lower the left hand down. Right leg reaches back to the sky, and then softly step into warrior 1. Right foot steps forward, left heel spins down, arms reach up. Breathe. Right, think about that quality of the spine that we reinforced to start practice. Right, feel that length growing between the discs. Feel the chin move under the crown of the head and soften the face and the muscles behind the eyes. Open into warrior 2. Right, allowing the arms to open, also the groin to open, keeping that left pinky toe rooted into the earth. Keeping all 5 toes of the right foot lifting off the mat to test your sole of the foot being rooted into the mat. From there, reach forward, flip the palm, peaceful warrior, reaching out of that right hip, opening up that right rib cage, and then windmill the hands down to the earth, flow that right foot back, move through a vinyasa of your choice, or step back into downward facing dog. From here, inhale, left leg to the sky. And then left knee, left elbow. Touch that knee and elbow, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, heel to the sky. And then left knee, right elbow across the body. Fallen triangle. Right, reach up and take up space here. With every inhale, right, how much space can you move into? Reaching that right arm high. With every exhale, can you pull that belly button back towards the spine as you push the hips higher towards the ceiling or sky. Externally rotate that left bicep. Keep a soft, supple bend in the left elbow. One more big breath in. And then lower that right hand down into the earth. Left leg shoots back to the sky, 3-legged downward facing dog. And then step into warrior 1. Breathe. Right, coming back to that specific need that you identified to start practice, right, and allowing yourself to meet that need here in warrior 1, right, however and whatever that means to your pose, right, allow yourself to adjust, even if it's just a mindset thing, right, even if you're physically where you need to be, open into warrior 2. Right, allowing your focus to remain right on that left middle finger. Very nice. Awesome. Holding it here, drawing the pelvis under the shoulders, not letting the tailbone, right, kind of move towards the left side of the mat. And then reach forward, palm flips. Peaceful warrior, reaching up as we expand that intercostal space in the left rib cage. Right, keeping that left knee over the ankle. Taking one more big breath in. And then exhale, slowly windmill the hands down. Step or float that left foot back. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog where we will all meet. Awesome. From downward facing dog, inhale high onto the balls of your feet. Knees bend, step or float, chair pose, top of the mat. Very nice. From chair pose at the top of the mat. Interlace your hands behind your low back again. Straighten out the legs. Allow the arms to come up and over. Right? Maybe as we revisit this pose, you allow your shoulders to open up a little bit more, allowing that heat that we're creating over the practice and that prana, that breath that we're pumping through the system, to open up some spaces, breathing into those new spaces. One more big breath in here. And then release the bind, fingertips, re-scrape the earth, back to Utkatasana for a moment. And then stand up, Tadasana. Very nice. Press the palms together overhead. Allow a gentle back bend to come into the body. And then exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg back into a long runner's lunge. Drag the heart forward in between the arms. As you drag the left heel back and the right toes forward. Hug the inner thighs in. Right, and then feel the belly lift off the thigh as you move the belly button towards the spine. All right, take a moment here. And then hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Roll yourself into high plank pose. And then lower down knees, chest, and chin. On your inhale, find cobra. Awesome. And then on your exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. And then step it into a long runner's lunge. Beautiful. Hug the inner thighs in. Right? The lead foot in your runner's lunge is dragging towards the back of your mat. Right? The back foot is dragging towards the front of your mat. Right? Lighten the hands, belly off the thigh. Right? Listen carefully. Take a big breath in. Right? And then cross that right or left calf behind left shin behind the right calf. Cross-legged forward fold, top of the mat. Allowing the fingertips to walk towards the back of the mat for a moment. Forehead releasing towards the right shin. Breathe. Awesome. So, hands into the mat, big toe meets big toe. Arms reach out in front of you, rise up into a back bend. And then lower hands down to heart center. Inhale, reach up, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left leg right back to where you were. Hug the inner thighs in. Look forward. Inhale. Step back, downward facing dog. Roll yourself into high plank pose. On your exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. On your inhale, find cobra. On your exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. And then step it into a long runner's lunge. All right, big, massive breath in. Now it's right shin behind left calf, cross-legged forward fold, top of the mat. All right, mindful that you're not locking out that right knee. All right, and then send your awareness, send your attention, right, to the outside of your right hip. All right, and then really breathe into that space as though you had a nostril right there, or a set of nostrils. Right, allowing every inhale to travel into that space and allowing every exhale to release tension from that specific region of the body. A few more breaths here. Very nice. Big toe meets big toe. From there, arms reach out in front of you, rise up to your back bend, and then hands lower down the heart center, elbows out wide. Right, so really push the heart into the thumbs and the thumbs back into the heart. And then bend your knees, and let's take that first prayer twist now towards the right. Allowing that left elbow to travel to the outside of the thigh, drawing that left knee back in space, pushing the heart into the thumbs as you find the back bend in your prayer twist. Making sure knees, right, don't jut in front of one another, right? Left knee wants to move in front of right, draw it back in space. Move that right hip under the body as you look over the right shoulder. Breathe. And remaining neutral in the neck. Right, so don't allow that left ear to collapse towards the shoulder. Right, like you had a rope attached to the crown of your head and it was being pulled towards the front of your mat. From there, take one more big breath in and then release into a forward fold. Right, from your forward fold, find ragdoll pose. Feet hips width distance apart, grabbing opposite elbows, swaying side to side. Very nice. And then from there, right hand under your face, bend your right knee, and then take a twist as you reach that left arm high towards the ceiling. Very nice. From here, taking a different variation if you'd like, by allowing that left hand to travel right into the crease of your right hip and right thigh. Right, and then really pushing as you find a little bit more traction if you found the half bind. If you want the full bind, you can interlace both hands behind your hamstring. And if you want to come into bird of paradise, by all means come into bird of paradise. That's not in my practice today. And yes, you can still stay reaching up towards the ceiling if you like that variation. But the bind can feel really nice. You can add a little bit more length to the stretch of the outside left hip. Very nice. Wherever you are, take one more big breath in, and then release into ragdoll pose. From ragdoll pose, hands into the mat, toe heel the feet together. Slowly, like a zombie, roll yourself up. Reach up, find Tadasana pose. Lower hands down to heart center. Elbows out wide, bend your knees. Let's even out that twist now towards the left. All right, finding your deepest twist while maintaining that length in your spine. All right, so try to do around in the spine, right, just to get a deeper twist. All right, the deeper twist comes from maintaining alignment, right, and then using the opposing forces of your right and left hand to twist from that integrative center of your spine. Looking over your left shoulder, breathing deep here as you move that belly button back and forth. As you inhale, belly button pushes away from the spine. As you exhale, belly button pulls back towards the spine. Breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward fold. Very nice. From that forward fold into ragdoll pose. Right opposite side, left hand down. Left knee bends, right leg straightens. Beginning to take the twist, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then maybe adding the half bind as you reach for that left thigh. And if you reach for the left thigh, just don't go dead in the hand. Think about using that grip strength, right, to walk your hand a little closer to the inner thigh, pushing and pulling more of a stretch into the out seam of that right leg. IT band, piriformis, breathing into it. Neck stays long and neutral, full binds, half binds, bird of paradise, whatever you want. We're here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release into ragdoll pose. Swaying side to side, maybe bouncing up and down, hugging behind the knees, whatever you want. Taking a moment here to come back to that purposeful attention. Paying attention to the sensations of your body. Not over-identifying, but just observing any sort of story or narrative going on in your mind right now. And then from that foundation of what is, can you course correct back to your intention? Right, and then from that course correction, take a big breath in and a full breath out. Hands lower down into the mat. Gently toe heel the feet together. Right, slowly like a zombie again, roll yourself up. Draw your shoulder blades back. Inhale, reach up, press your palms together overhead. Add a back bend as you inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg back, long runner's lunge. Very nice. Drop your right knee down, Anjaneyasana, as you reach the arms up. Right from there, as you inhale, right, really reach the arms high. And then as you exhale, draw the elbows into cactus arms and pull the heart forward. Very nice. Or pull the heart higher. As you inhale, reach the arms back up. As you exhale, pull the elbows back. And then keep alternating between those movements as you inhale and exhale. Right? Maybe noticing every exhale you find a bit more depth as we start to open up the psoas and the hip flexor of the right leg. Right? And if this more dynamic movement doesn't kind of resonate with your body, doesn't feel right, maybe just hold a more static Anjaneyasana. Right? Next time you find those goalpost arms, interlace the hands behind your low back. Open up your heart towards the ceiling or sky. Take one more big breath in. Awesome. And then reach the arms back towards the ceiling. Hands frame the left foot. Half split or half Hanumanasana. Right? Keeping that right knee under the hip. Flexing the left toes towards the shin. Right? That's sort of the first option. You can also point the left toes towards the top end of your mat if that feels good to stretch the top of your foot. You can also move your left big toe to about a 10 or an 11 o'clock angle and allow yourself to breathe into that IT band a little bit. Right? So if you deal with any sort of sciatica or pain like that, allowing for that external rotation of the leg here can sometimes really isolate that muscle to open up, or those muscles and soft tissue. So whichever pose you've chosen in your half split, you could be in full split as well. Breathe into it here just for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly back into a runner's lunge, re-extending that right leg off the mat. Very nice. From there, standing needle, top of the mat. Left foot down, hands under the shoulders. Right? Draw that left hip back in space. Hug the inner thighs in as the right toes point towards the left. Using this foundation of your standing needle to either grab calf or ankle with one or both hands, to wrap the forearm behind the calf, to take handstand hops. Right? Lots of different options here. Right? Breathing into whichever expression of the pose you've chosen. Right? Allowing yourself to focus on just the physical sensations of the body right now. Right? Letting go of any sort of judgment or evaluation of those sensations. Right? Just observing, not over-identifying. Right? From your standing needle of choice, begin to reach back into your runner's lunge. From there, step back into downward facing dog. Very nice. From downward facing dog, roll it into high plank pose. Lower knees, chest, and chin. On your inhale, find a strong cobra. On your exhale, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. This time, knee bends, hip opens. Right? Push that right knee high towards the ceiling. Push that right armpit further down towards the mat. Create as much space as you can between your right pinky finger and your right kneecap. Right? While squaring the shoulders. Staying there, deciding to flip your dog up and over. Right? By rolling to the outside edge of that foot. Flipping your dog, finding full wheel. I know some of you like to take forearm balance variations from that foundation of a twisted dog. Your practice is yours, your needs are yours to meet. Right? Seizing that responsibility, practicing that responsibility here. From your flip dogs or your full wheels, slowly back into that three-legged down dog, and then step it into a long runner's lunge. Very nice. From this runner's lunge, listen carefully. Move your right hand about a palm's distance closer to the front of the mat, and then press into Ardha Chandrasana, or half moon. Right? So lighten the right fingers, dialing the left toes down, and then make sure you have a neutral pelvis even here. So you're going to tuck the pelvis forward, right, or towards the left, making sure you can see your left toes if you look back towards your foot. From there, if you'd like to float that bottom hand to your heart, right? If you'd like to reach that bottom hand towards the front of your mat, right? Not being afraid to fall out of the pose. Just practicing what it's like to play with balance, to practice balance, not to perform balance, but to truly practice it. All right, here we are for another 4, 3, 2, standing needle, top of the mat, just for an inhale, and then exhale, big toe meets big toe. Awesome, arms reach out in front of you, rise up to a back bend, and then hands lower down to heart center. Inhale, reach up, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left leg back, long runner's lunge. Very nice. Drop the left knee down, Anjaneyasana. Right, not getting ahead of yourself, just finding Anjaneyasana for a moment. Right, allowing that right heel to drag back, left knee to drag forward. Take a big inhale, feel the arms reach up without shrugging the shoulders. And then as you exhale, find those goalpost cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale even further back. And then into that choreography of breath and movement. Inhaling as you expand and reach. Exhaling as you open up the chest. Right? Moving the heart through the gateway of the arms. A few more of these. All right, maybe using that Ujjayi breath, that ocean-like exhale to really feel the length of your exhale. All right, next time you draw it back into those goalpost arms, interlace the hands behind your low back. All right, open up the chest. Find that opposite grip with your thumbs, right? The grip that doesn't make sense or doesn't feel right. Very nice. And then re-extend the arms into Anjane. And then allow yourself to find half split. Shifting your hips back towards your left heel. Flexing or pointing your right toes. Right, and here, the option to kind of move into the IT band a little bit more focused, or a little bit more intently, is to move that right big toe to about a 2 p.m. angle, right, if it was a watch dial. All right, and then really allowing the heart to move towards the shin, not the forehead towards the shin, the heart towards the shin. Breathing here. All right, if the mind's wandering, if it's planning its battle to the grocery store, if it's ruminating about something, bring it back to the body. All right, gently and kindly, honoring the fact that our minds were meant to wander. All right, but we're here to practice that attention. Very nice. Slowly begin to re-extend back into a runner's lunge. And then from that runner's lunge, standing needle, top of the mat. Hands under the shoulders. Left toes point towards the right side of your mat. Left heel as high as you can. Right? Not locking out that left knee, strong and stable by pressing the 4 corners of the right foot down. Testing your balance or practicing your balance, right? Here we are, just for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Re-extend back into your runner's lunge. Huge breath in. Step back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, roll yourself into high plank slowly. Let that feel good. Lower knees, chest, and chin. On your inhale, find cobra pose. On your exhale, find downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky, bend the knee, open the hips, spend a moment just to experience, to receive your twisted dog. Right, and then from there, if you'd like to flip, allow your intuition to guide that movement as you protect that rotator cuff of the right arm or the right shoulder by bringing a soft little bend to the right elbow. Right, pressing firmly down through the triad of the right palm, thumb, index knuckle, middle finger. Breathing here as you reach towards the mat if you're flipped. Right, breathing for 3, 2, 1. Slowly begin to unflip, re-extending that left leg high towards the sky. Awesome, and then from there, step into a long runner's lunge. Right, allowing that left hand to move a little closer to the top edge of the mat, and then shift weight into Ardha Chandrasana. Right, mindful that you're not flinging yourself into it, right? You're not catching yourself in the pose. You're slowly transitioning and discovering yourself in the pose. Right, I know that sounds sort of forcibly yogic, right? Finding yourself in the pose. Right, but it's just two different approaches. Right, one is in a rush to fling there and catch with momentum. Right, the other one is paying that purposeful attention to all the little micro movements that move you throughout the practice. Floating that bottom hand to your heart if you want, just to test it. Looking up towards that lifted thumb maybe for a moment. For 3, 2, 1. Back to standing needle. Big breath in. And then big toe meets big toe. Very nice. From there, allow the feet to travel hips-width distance apart. And then peace fingers grab big toes. Bend your knees, look forward, create a strong flat back. And then pull the crown of the head down, fingers to toes, forward fold. No 3 inhales and exhales to get into it today. Just that deep hold. Seizing the opportunity here to open up the posterior chain of the body. Right, allowing the forehead to get closer in between the shins. Gazing up towards your pelvic floor if you can. Allowing the elbows to move towards the front of the mat as we breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the big toes right into Padahastasana, right into Gorilla. So stand onto your hands, right, toes towards your wrists. Bend your knees, look forward, create a strong flat back. And then again, just one breath in as we hold our Gorilla without holding the breath. Right, maybe you need to bend your knees and keep them bent through your whole Gorilla. That's fine. Right, even if you're super flexible, keep that soft bend in your knees. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your Gorilla pose, hands into the mat. One option for crow pose or Bakasana. So come up high onto the balls of your feet, allowing your arms to start to bend as your knees come to the backs of your arms, creating a shelf for your crow pose as you begin to come into the arm balance. Maybe bringing your heels up towards your groin, or maybe just lifting one toe off the mat. Pressing firmly down through all 10 fingertips. All right, moving some of that weight and collapse out of the wrists. Here we are in Bakasana for 5, 4, 3, 2. Option to hop back into your Chaturanga, right? Take a full vinyasa, or step back into downward facing dog, right? So whichever pose or flow of poses you've chosen, down dog is our destination. Very nice, awesome. All right, so from your downward facing dog, inhale right leg to the sky, and then bring your right knee to your right wrist. Set up for half pigeon. We're not going into half pigeon just yet. So hands are driven under the shoulders, right? And then from there, tuck your left toes under, right? So don't point your left toes back like we're going into half pigeon just yet, right? And then from there, flex your left quadricep, lift your knee off the mat, and then press firmly down into the outside edge of your right foot as you move that right knee like an elevator up towards your right armpit, right? So lift it up, feel that core engage, and then lower the left knee down to the wrist, and then back up towards the chest, right? And then keep lifting and lowering, feeling that oblique and transverse abdominal contract, moving on your breath, strengthening your core. Right, every inhale lowers you down as the belly descends. Every exhale pulls everything back towards the spine as the knee lifts towards the chest. Here we are for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now it's half pigeon. Not collapsing into it though. Pointing the left toe straight back, right? Finding some height in the spine, right? That dignified posture, right? You can even kind of like reach the arms up, place the crown onto your head, right? And then with that crown firmly placed, start to walk yourself into your half pigeon or double pigeon. Breathing into that right hip. All right, allowing yourself to identify any places of holding in the body or mind right now. All right, and giving yourself that permission to let go, to fully come into contact with the full experience of this pose. Right, both physically, mentally, spiritually, if that's part of your practice. Right, developing that flexibility that allows you to embrace the full experience of your asana, of your pose. Few more breaths here. All right, just kind of observing what shows up in stillness and silence. Slowly begin to walk the hands back towards the hips, and then draw that left knee behind the right calf as you sit onto your bum and set up for a seated twist. Bending that left knee, allowing the left heel to travel to the outside of the right hip. And then from there, allow that left elbow crease to come in front of the shin. Interlace the fingers, push the heart into the palms, looking over your right shoulder, finding the back bend in your twist. Right, and then if you can, maybe creating a little bit more tension or torque with the left knee or left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Twisting more from the center of your spine as you keep that right foot firmly rooted into the mat. Slowly release the twist, little counter twist. Just kind of push your heart towards the left. Very nice, awesome. And then from there, right, you can cross the ankles under you, hop back through a vinyasa if you'd like, or meet in downward facing dog. Right, from downward facing dog, inhale left leg to the sky, and then it's left knee to left wrist. All right, but in case you forgot, all right, we're not coming into half pigeon just yet. All right, allowing the hands to firm under the shoulders, pointing the right toes back, and then tucking the right toes back under. Right, from there, allowing that right quadricep to lift the right knee off the mat, and then pressing firmly into the outside edge of the left foot. Right, use your core to lift your knee towards your chest. Lower back down with control, and then lift back up with power. Right, but you're not flinging yourself back up. Right, you're just moving from center line. Right, as though there was a magnet attached at the center of your chest and the inside of that left knee. Right, and every exhale, you allow that magnet to just take hold of the connection as it lifts the leg towards center line. Here we are for another 5, 4, keep pressing down into the hands as well. 3, 2, and 1. From there, half pigeon, finding height in the spine first. All right, now just collapsing into the hips. All right, walking yourself forward, half pigeon pose. Breathe. All right, another opportunity to scan the body, inviting those places of release or surrender into those places of holding or tension. And then especially if you have resistance to compassion work, to kindness, even to the word kindness, I would invite you here in this moment of discomfort to practice some sort of kind approach to your body right now. Right? Whether that's accepting an imperfection, whether that's shifting and modifying the pose, whether that's intensifying the pose. Right? Whatever it would mean to be kind to your body right now, allow yourself to shift towards that reverse side of strength, the opposite side of strength. Slowly begin to walk the hands back towards the hips. And then from there, just kind of toe heel that right knee, or toe, walk that right knee behind the left calf. Sit onto your bum, bend that right knee, kind of adjust how you need to set up for a seated twist. All right, pull that heart high, then wrap that elbow around the shin, twist, interlace the hands, push the heart as you find the back bend and twist. And then if you have a deeper twist and want the elbow to the outside of the thigh, by all means. Awesome, breathe. Can't stress it enough though, keep that left foot firm into the mat. Don't just roll to the pinky edge of it. Breathing for 3, 2, 1. Little counter twist, right? Push the heart towards the right. Awesome. And then from there, extend both legs out in front of you. Give the legs a little bit of a flutter. One little quick Paschimottanasana. You might want to move the glutes out from under you. Internally rotate the thighs with your hands. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, forward fold. Quick little forward fold here. Right, reach the heart as you pull down and hinge, not round. And then gently release, walk the hands up the shins. From there, scoot the groin towards the heels, grab the front of your shins, roll onto your back. Maybe rock and rolling a few times, and then slowly stirring the thighs in and out away from one another. All right, once you feel satisfied there, finding happy baby pose as you reach up and grab the outsides of your feet. Pulling your knees down towards either side of your rib cage as you push the heels up away from that pulling down. All right, taking a moment here just to breathe into your hips. Maybe opening up the legs, taking that big, strong, expressive Upavishta Konasana variation there. And then slowly rebending your knees back into happy baby. And then allowing yourself to fall into your final rest whenever you'd like to. All right, today I'm going to take Supta Baddha Konasana. If that's something you'd like to take, soles of your feet together, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, or grabbing opposite elbows above your head. If you'd like to take Shavasana, corpse pose, just as good. All right, once you've chosen a pose, can you give yourself that full permission to rest? To let go and surrender any sort of need or impulse to manage or fix a feeling, a problem, a situation. And just allowing yourself to drop back and observe whatever's showing up. And to just be with it. All right, experiencing that presence and perspective that comes with true stillness. I'll be silent for a few moments. You be present and give yourself as long as you possibly can to be in this rest. Allowing those moments where you find your mind wandering, it's elsewhere, it's planning, it's judging. Allowing yourself to smile when you catch yourself elsewhere. And to gently guide yourself back to the observation that shows up in stillness. If you have more time, again, give yourself a longer moment of rest. All right, if you're following along with me, slowly begin to deepen your breath, rocking your head side to side, gently wiggling the fingers and toes. As you draw your knees into your chest and find a fetal pose by rocking to your right or left side. From fetal pose, taking a moment just to experience that feeling of resting into the earth. Observing where you end and the mat begins. Right, and then from there, pressing yourself up slowly with eyes closed in a cross-legged seated position. Legs crossed wherever they need to be. Hands rest wherever they want to be. Allowing that smile to return to the face. And honoring the fact that you showed up, you practiced. Right, letting go of how the practice went. Right, and just honoring the fact that you moved through the obstacles. You committed to a valuable action. Right, and so from that place of self-worth, thumbs rise to forehead center, always grateful for the practice, the community, OPY, everyone that joined. Right, and from that place of gratitude, we all can say, Namaste. So namaste. Thanks for joining. If you can, reach out to Kelly Sen, Kelly-Sen on Venmo, and to support the studio. And yeah, we'll get through this together. So thanks for showing up. Take care.